Smell the peat from here. Let's get going.
Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. It's another installment of Risky Whiskey.
This is the series where somebody contributes 3 whiskeys, or more, or less, whatever. It's a flight. And they all come from different countries.
Yes.
All we know about them is that they may be in the same proof point and maybe the same type. Maybe
Something in
they're not.
common.
They have something in common, but they all must come from different countries. This flight comes to us from our friend Eric Gunderson. Let's get Gunderstruck on some peaty, smoky goodness, I think. We can smell it coming off the glasses here. Smells pretty good to me. I'm ready to get into this. Let's just get straight to the nose, right? Anything else to talk about?
No, right into the nose.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, it's peaty.
I think that there's a pear presence here,
Yeah, there's a
which is weird.
it's a nice fruit note. I almost got I think you're right with pears, but I almost got when you have cinnamon sugar apples when you're sautéing them on the stovetop.
Yeah, these
But I
are
feel like pear is probably the right fruit.
early fall seasonal type fruit.
Oh, yes. Perfect timing.
Perfect time. Yeah, nailed that.
Perfect timing.
Oh my goodness.
That's usually your lane.
Now I see why people get so annoyed with that. That's horrible. Does smell sweet and inviting there on glass number 1. By the way, this is blind, and you can see what's going on the bottom of the screen. We have no idea until the end.
So, less peaty on this one.
Wow.
There's still like a little bit of a campfire-y undertone, but this actually smells really rich and oaky.
I was going to say beautiful brown sugar presence here.
A little cidery.
Coming off of glass 1, my first thought is this might be an American whiskey.
I know.
Well, I like that brown sugar note. That smells fantastic. And once again, we have 3 different colors, 2 of them very similar here, but this straw-colored one on the end is an outlier in terms of appearance.
Intrigued by that middle one.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and forth real quick. Far more smoke and peat on glass number 1. Let's check out glass 3. Okay,
This one smells Scottish to me.
Yeah, I was going to say the smoke is back.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a huge peat presence.
It smells like something I've had before. I can remember this kind of thing because I'm like, oof, I might not like this.
Yeah, that's not something you're going for right
But
there.
I think it's a very pleasant nose. It smells a mixture between sweet and smoky instead of sweet and salty.
Yeah, that's more grilled meat than grilled
Yeah.
fruit. Glass 1 is more of a grilled fruit to me. Glass 2 seems very subdued on the sort of oddball peat and smoke types of things. That
Yeah.
I call it oddball because I'm a bourbon drinker, so it's not something that I
Right.
experience all the time. But glasses 1 and 3 definitely have a similarity there. One with the fruit, one with the meat, but all with the smoke. Put that on a t-shirt.
Definitely. I liked your grilled note.
All right, sip number 1. How do you want to say? I want to say cheers differently for each one of these.
What did we do last time?
Last time we did cheers, slancha, and l'chaim.
Right.
How about chin chin?
Chin chin. Do you think there's a Spanish whiskey in here?
No.
It's chewy. This is like mealy and chewy. It's got a little bit of sweetness, which I think might be some honey.
Mm-hmm.
A little grilled note on this one too.
Yeah, like a honey glazed pear or apple on a grill, lightly grilled.
It is. I just want to go like one of those like a dog eating peanut butter. Like it's like stuck in there.
Honey glazed pear, slightly smoked on a grill.
I like it. I blanked on everything that I just said, so whatever I said, I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay, yeah, we'll go to the tape if we need to.
It's really hanging on.
Yeah, that one's clingy.
She's a clinger.
That's a high school girlfriend right there. That is clingy. Wow.
Definitely have to cleanse the palate on these babies.
Yeah. I am excited for glass number 2. It is on the nose, the one that I'm most excited to sip.
Salute.
Salute. There we go.
Eric. I wasn't expecting those flavors.
Did you not like that?
It was unexpected. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. while I was drinking, I realized that I had picked up the glass with my left hand.
Okay.
Which is not something I normally did. And I got focused in on I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm drinking with my left hand right now. Flavors.
It's like negative Julie in the house right now.
It's negative Julie.
Mega Julie in the house right now. Wow. That's got a ton of flavor. This is where the honey is. This is like a brown sugar honey. Man, it cloying too. There's very little else happening on the palate here. Mm-hmm. It's all that honey sweetness. A little vanilla creeping in. Wow.
What I will say about this is going to be an interesting flight for me. So what I'll say about this one is that I'm not sure that I enjoyed the sip that I just took, but it also didn't cling like the first glass, and
really?
To me that's a bonus, a bonus point, because that first glass was so clingy that I was like, it's time for you to leave. You should go home now. You've been here all day. Leave.
This is a palate full of honey to me. That's what this is. This is all honey. It's almost one note. As much as I like this, it seems pretty one note. There, I said it 2 or 3 times in a row, so I must mean it.
I don't think I like this one. What's interesting about this one is that the nose is so appealing to me. I keep inhaling the flavors, and it's so delicious. The aroma.
Yeah.
And then I get the palate, and I don't know if I'm underwhelmed or if the flavors just don't mesh or balance with what the nose is giving me, and then I feel confused.
Okay. There's a little earthy tobacco on the tail end of that one too. Something earthy. Maybe not tobacco.
There's also like a cinnamon, like a
real gentle.
Yeah, a gentle, and I'm almost thinking like the hot tamales, like the candy cinnamon, versus just a cinnamon baking spice.
This one's pretty far out there. I don't know that I've ever had anything quite like this. Now I want to find out that it's on the shelf behind me, but it's pretty unusual.
Unusual.
I really looked forward to the nose on that one. I'm surprised that I'm not finding as much on the palate.
This is a fun flight for me because, again, doesn't matter who wins or loses for me. This is not something I would normally ever drink, so it's fun to get to taste all of these different drams of whatever's in here.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. This is stuff that people like sometimes drink every single day, maybe. It's interesting to me.
If you're drinking glass 2 every single day, leave a comment for Julie right now.
These glasses are making me thirsty.
Glass 3 is the grilled meat nose.
This one, I originally said that was definitely Scottish. Does have an Irishness to it. Prost?
Prost.
Prost. I don't know why I said that with an accent.
Why not?
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
I think this is the peatiest of the bunch. Like, that is the forefront flavor, but the other flavors are like pretty mellow behind it. Like, to me, it's like this is the flavor we're going for, and everything else kind of is that little bubble that happens around it that kind of makes it work really well. Subtle, juicy, balanced, but that peat is forefront for me.
Wow, the more that this one hangs out on your breath, the more that you roll it around in your tongue, that sugar in your coffee, that's what that becomes. That's a little bit of a latte right there.
Oh.
That is
like that.
Very interesting whiskey. Wow. I mean, first blush, I have a favorite already just from that one sip. Maybe because I'm able to pick things out and I'm recognizing things. And I wonder how much of that is, when you're tasting whiskeys, which one do you like best? The one that's the most familiar. It's like listening to music. You hear a beat or a tune or a melody that's similar to something you've heard before, and it sticks in there, and you go, oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what this is, that I'm tasting things that I like, and that's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm getting into the philosophy of tasting or just saying stupid things, but
no,
I like this one.
I agree, because I like glass number 3, and it does feel familiar to me. Like, it feels more familiar in the way that it drinks, in the way that it tastes, in the way that it comes across than the other two. Probably because I don't know where this is from, obviously, but like we have Scotches, we have Irish. That's more in line with the stuff that we may purchase versus the first two.
Yeah, I feel like it's possible that this has been on our shelf before.
Yeah.
Because it does hit my palate very well. Wow. Little strawberry there. Interesting. Maybe like a white chocolate.
All right, so back the other way?
Yeah, interesting complex whiskey. I'm happy with it, and I'm ready to go back the other direction.
I like glass number 3. I find I find even for me, it's something that I would drink. Like if somebody handed this to me, said this is what we're drinking tonight, I would drink the whole glass.
You wouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that where you're just like, oh, I'm just going to put it aside. But that is something that I would drink.
This one is the one that has more of a light brown sugar. The other two have honey.
Yeah.
This one is an outlier that way.
Of all the challenges we've done, I'm going to drink all the water in between.
Yeah, this one, you're right. This one's making me thirsty.
This one's not for me.
I'm getting more fruit this time. Maybe not quite cherry, but some sort of red fruit.
This one's a bit muddled for me.
It just keeps going back to honey.
This one makes me feel like my palate's not complex enough to understand it. Like I can definitely tell there's a lot going on in this glass. I'm just not getting any of it.
This one doesn't bring a lot of peat or smoke to the table, which is okay. Although now I'm getting a little bit of mint chocolate chip ice cream on the finish as I'm talking. Yeah, it's an interesting whiskey. I don't know where this is going to wind up right now. This is one more glass to go and then some A/B testing. It feels like we have a long ways to go yet.
I will be honest, I'm excited to try glass number 1 again. It was so weird and clingy. I just want to see if it still is.
That's not something you say about your high school girlfriend. She was so weird and clingy. I want to see if she still is.
Yeah. Or maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't think I do.
Something very bakery about the nose. Like you walk into a bakery and it's like sugary. You get that smell of like almost like donuts, like yeast and sugar and icing.
Maybe this whiskey is Danish.
Oh, could be.
Okay, Danish.
No, I got the joke, but like maybe.
Okay,
maybe
great. We're doing great. This one's tough because I feel like this whiskey's getting steamrolled off the table.
Which one?
This one here.
Oh, I like this one.
I like it too. I like it too, but I think the other two are so strong flavor-wise compared to this one that this one's getting a little steamrolled. I'm gonna have to spend some time with it.
This one's light. I can picture drinking this on a hot day.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little fruity, like peaches or, not a very strong fruit, like as flavors go. A little bit subtle, juicy.
Sticking with pear.
They're a little bit, the pear. Well, that's another one, right? So it doesn't have a ton of flavor. Grilled notes in there. I like glass number 1. It's less clingy this time around.
Mouthfeel on glass number 1 here. Maybe the best of the bunch. Clingy in that way that it sticks to your palate, and I think that's why it hangs around so much. It's not the elongated finish, although it has a nice one of those too. It's the fact that it just coats like crazy.
There's something a little seaside about this too. I'm getting not so much the salt, like almost like salt water, because there's something, I don't want to say fishy about it because that has a bad connotation, but
I wouldn't even go briny. I would say it's like salty sea air. Salty
sea. There's just that hint, like sometimes when you walk on the beach, you're like, oh, it smells like the ocean.
We're going to
like
find out this whiskey's from Kansas or something. Could not be further from the sea.
I don't know, but I'm going to write that because I have no idea what it's going to be, but all of a sudden it had that like seasideness to it.
I think you're right. A little bit of A/B testing. We're not going to show you all that, or this would be a really long video, but we'll be back in just a second with our selections.
I could sit here and pretend like I'm going to go back and forth, but I already know what I'm going to do.
You are ready?
Yeah.
Well, what are we waiting on? Let's just do this.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to push forward our third place glass. We'll just put them all on the table, and then we'll figure out what they are. Okay, third place in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, wow.
Same.
I'm surprised. I'm actually really surprised. I thought you really liked that one.
I do really like it. It had the least amount of complexity, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because when you're drinking something that's more peated, the less peated stuff gets overwhelmed. Yeah. That could have happened here. But let's go for second place in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh, we're going to be on the same page.
We just went
today.
Same page. All right.
Boy.
Well, there's no sense even hanging around. Glass number 3, the big winner for us. Glass number 1 comes in second. Glass number 2 comes in third. I think we're on the same page. That glass number 3 just showcased the peat, the smoke. Yeah. Huge flavors. Beautiful whiskey from start to finish. Gave us everything we were looking for today. I really liked glass 1, but it got bossed around a little bit in this matchup. Yep. I think that potentially that might be a better whiskey overall, but really hard to tell in this matchup because these flavors had so much depth. So let's find out what they are.
All right, trusty envelope.
Trusty envelope. Another huge thank you to our friend Eric Gunderson for helping us get Gunderstruck on an 85-degree day here in Bend, Oregon. What a perfect day to sip a peated flight for this risky whiskey. Let's see who's going to reign supreme. Third place for both of us is glass number 2 here. I'm going to sip it. You tell us what it is.
It is Paul John 2019 Christmas edition. maybe possibly 5 years. It's an Indian single malt. No added color, hint of peat.
Really interesting. Okay, tastes a little bit like Christmas. Now that I taste it, there's a little bit of a Christmas pudding there. A little bit of spice.
Second place. So you know how you said that it could be Danish?
I did say that.
It's not. But it's Swedish. And I feel like that's pretty good.
Right? Yeah, we're in the neighborhood, I guess.
You're over there.
Sure.
This is High Coast. It is a 96 proof. It's a Swedish single malt, virgin oak cask, non-chill filtered, no added color, not age stated, Swedish.
Okay, so I wonder if this place is located on the sea like we thought.
Right.
I bet it is.
I didn't
High
think about
Coast,
that.
maybe not, but that's pretty solid. I sipped it again while you were telling us what that is. That's very tasty whiskey. Wow. Our first taste of Swedish whiskey did not disappoint. Quite nice. Way to go, Sweden. We're going to have to learn how to say cheers in Swedish next.
Also, Eric, how do you have all of these?
Right. He's like a magnet from whiskey from other countries. Now it's time to find out who produced glass number 3, who reigns supreme, which country here on Risky Whiskey for this installment with this peated flight. Honestly, it wasn't that close for me in the end. Who is this?
I'm feeling pretty chuffed about this.
Chuffed?
Chuffed about this.
My goodness.
It is Talisker, and it comes in at 91.6 proof. It is Port Rouge. It is port finish. It's not age stated. It is a Talisker, which I believe is Scottish.
Scotch whiskey right there, I believe, of course. Wow. Fantastic. I don't think we've ever owned a Talisker. We did a tasting at Heathrow Airport, of all places, randomly, which was pretty good.
Which you should do because they just offer it up, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, go to duty free, just sip all the things. Wow. Wildly delicious, huge flavors, and it had all the peat and smoke that we were looking for today, along with that backbone of other delicious flavors. The fruit, I mentioned latte, strawberry, light brown sugar. I mean, what's not to like? That's so well balanced and so delicious. I thought it was fantastic.
I did too. And it goes back to, I don't know if I like this because it's familiar or because it's good. And I think it's both. Like, I think it did smell familiar. We kind of picked that out. But I also do think that in the peated category, in the balanced category, in the flavor category, it won on all three.
Yep, I think it was a pretty dominant showing, and now I think there's nothing left to do but say cheers to you. Thank you, Eric, so much for this delicious whiskey. What an amazing flight from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's watch Braveheart.
I don't think I've seen that in a long time. I'd buy that. That's good.